Yes, and welcome along to race 3 of the endurance series. It's 250 kilometers around AUTOPOLIS, and we're waiting for the light so you can see the qualifying standings on the left there, and away we go. Contagious and Norm take us away for 250 kilometers around this Japanese track as everybody bunches up coming into turn 1. A little bit of contact as they all come around, and Norm runs out of room on the left as everybody bunches up 4 wide around turn 1 as we all run down the hill into turn 3. It's Contagious from Gnarly from Elmo as he shuts the door on Reaper. A little bit of contact there from Gnarly and Elmo as they try and maintain control. Beto right around the inside of Reaper. Reaper now with the inside shot on the hairpin. A little bit of contact as well on Elmo coming around there. Very tight, very narrow technical section coming into sector 2 as we round and we come up the hill to come up and over turn 11. It's Elmo and Reaper come side by side. Elmo up the middle, Beto as well, and Reaper runs out of road, loses a position to Rick and Zambe as they come around, flying down the hill in sector 3. And this somebody absolutely gets it all wrong out in the background. They've gone for a day at the beach. With Elmo, Beto and Rick battling it out in 3rd, 4th and 5th. With Gnarly and Contagious getting way to an early start, a head start. Beto getting it in all kinds of sideways there as he struggles to maintain control. Rick places his car very well, forces Zambe to go around the outside as they come in for the end of lap 1 of 54. Here we see again Contagious and Gnarly out the front with a comfortable bit of space early on in this 250 kilometer endurance race as Zambe has a peek around Rick. He has another peek and thinks about it, hoping his Mustang can give him the kick to get around. As they come into this technical section, Zambe just backs off and just lets it go a little bit. And Rick gets it wrong over the top of turn 11 again. That is an absolute hotspot for mistakes. Zambe and Rick both get up the... No, Rick gets cut off by Beto as he was rejoining at a slightly slower pace. And Zambe gets it wrong coming around the turn into the final section. What a shuffle up over lap 2. Reaper and Zambe side by side. But Reaper with the run. Beto 4th, Rick 5th. And now where's Con come from? Con is all of a sudden right up right up behind, thank you very much, Zambe diving up with a lunge from last week. Little bit of a tap and Con gets it sideways and sends it into the fence. Unassisted mistake from Con as Elmo has closed some of the gap on the front 2. Contagious, Gnarly and Elmo coming around, finish lap 3, start of lap 4. Reaper looks up the inside of Zambe into turn 1. Zambe shuts the door. Mitch hot on the heels of Reaper. Still a long way to go here at AUTOPOLIS in Japan, as Zambe gets 11 wrong again and Reaper follows him. Thank you very much, says Mitch, as he comes straight through, takes 2 positions. Zambe with another mistake on lap 4. Reaper and Zambe side by side into the final turn. And so here we have one of the early features of the race. Norm found himself stuck behind Zambe, and Zambe managed to defend his position for about 5 laps. So this is just some of the highlights, snapshots from that stint. A mixture of good placing and fortunate mistakes, keeping Norm behind Zambe for a very long stint. half of an entire stint, which is very costly, with Zambe costing Norm a lot of time. At turn 6, that very slow right-hand hairpin. Very difficult to get right with the drive out as Norm looks for a peek over the top of 11 again. Zambe shuts the door once more as Elmo drops out. Early doors. Norm with the run up the inside on Zambe, but still can't make it happen. Zambe just placing his car in the right plot, in the right space. Hugging those ripple strips, leaves the door open for Norm there, but doesn't quite have enough momentum to get through. Zambe very slow around a kick of 14. Or 17. Running into the final straight. And now turn 11, Norm decides to get it done. But the switchback, Norm outbrakes himself and Zambe takes the position back. Norm could grasp daylight for just a moment, but then it was all too much. As they come around at the end of lap 9, Norm absolutely grasping for air now. Zambe having held him back for about 5 laps. And this triggers the first pit cycle of the day. So Contagious, with a stint length of 9, comes in, as well as Beto, Zambe, and Reaper Knight. So potentially showing their cards there with the strategies, playing the 9-lap stop. Or they do 9 all the way home. And here we see Gnarly coming out at the end of lap 10, expecting him to come in as well. He does. So that is a 10-lap stint for Gnarly Dude. That leaves 4 laps in change if they maintain the 10-lap strategy all the way around, as Norm and Rick also come in on 10 laps. Con stays out and gets the run on Gnarly, and now we have Gnarly on fresh tyres, about to battle his way through Con through sector 1 and 2, as Con just leaves enough room for Gnarly to sneak up the inside, coming into turn 3, and shuts the door coming across into turn 4 as they approach the slow hairpin of turn 6, coming all the way around. And Gnarly pulls away on his fresh tyres. So end of 13, Con comes in for his first stop, 13-lap stint. If he maintains 13-lap stints, that'll take him to the end of 52 with 2 laps of change. That'll be very interesting when we come to the end, as Contagious comes in for his second pit stop, gets the entry wrong, as we've seen a lot of drivers do at this circuit. Norm and Beto both coming in at the end of 18, as well as Zambe coming in for fresh rubber. Reaper Knight also at the end of 18, so 4 cars making a pit stop. Gnarly, we're expecting to come in this lap. 1 lap later, doesn't, stays out again, stays out longer. And Contagious, big technical difficulties under the hood, devastations in the pit lane. As we flick to the end of 21, Gnarly comes in. So there you see the strategy analysis. Gnarly doing a 10 and an 11. Norm doing a 10 and an 8. The rest of the field doing 9s. And Con on prospective 13s all the way home. One wonders, can he pull out 2 14s and make the distance? That is the big question, with his current strategy confirmed coming in at the end of 26. And this is now 29 as Norm comes out in front of Con. Norm's 3rd pit stop as they come side by side now. Running into sector 2. Con with the run on the inside, coming into the technical section. Norm does enough just to stay even with him. Con shuts the door, coming around the left-hander into turn number 6 into the hairpin. Norm, there's space there for him to come around. Does he have the run and the pace to get it done? No, he doesn't. Con again in front of him as they come around the long left-hander now into turn 11. Norm looks around the outside of 11 and can't get it done. So this, off the back of Norm getting turn 1 absolutely wrong as Con places his car in the right spot. So this was an entire stint that Norm just could not get past Con. We saw Norm stuck behind Zambe for 5 laps. This was a 9 or 10 lap stint where Con just drove defensively to a T, placed his car in the perfect positions, and Norm just could not get around. So this is some of the pinch points from that big defense, the great defense of the wall that is Con, the Great Wall of Con, as they approach turn 11. So just over halfway of this 250-kilometer endurance race at AUTOPOLIS, a track in Japan, founded in 1990, just over 3 kilometers in length, as they come around turn 11 again, and Norm just not having the space to stretch his legs and take his momentum up and over that hill. Con with a masterclass of defensive driving. As we come around on lap 37 of 54, 6 cars remaining out of the initial grid of about 12. Very grueling track, very grueling event to do just over an hour and a half around a track with 16 plus corners. As we come into the end of 37. And Norm has had enough. He comes into the pits at the end of 37, very frustrated after not being able to make up any ground. And so Con comes in at the end of 39. He has not been able to pull any extra laps out of his 13-lap stints. So he's got 15 to go with 13 of fuel. So can he stretch 2 more laps? Gnarly dude at the end of lap 43 comes in for what we think is his final pit stop, with 11 laps remaining on the board to scratch off with his final stint and fresh tyres. And this is where Gnarly rejoins. Norm takes track position with what we think is a pit stop to come, with Reaper in front of him. So Reaper's disappeared there as we come around another lap. Norm stays out at the end of 43. This is the end of 44. Rick Green comes in with 10 laps to go on his strategy. That lets Zambe through for track position in 4th. As tensions rise and the strategies start to come home, and we see where everyone is sitting on track with the final stint and no pit stops to go, as Gnarly and Norm battling for first spot. Norm still with a pit stop to come, lets Gnarly up the inside. Both drivers have to make sure they don't do anything too silly here with 10 laps to go. Norm still has to pit, so they're not battling for track position. Hopefully they just both come around nice and cleanly. Nothing goes wrong as Gnarly starts to fish a little bit. Nothing, that's nice and easy. It's all right. Norm with the run up the inside into the long left-hander. It's getting hairy. That's close. It's tight. You can fit a matchbox between the two of them as they run into turn 11. The hairpin up and over the hill. Gnarly, not enough space. Has a peek up the inside with the run. They go side by side coming down the hill into the final sector. Gnarly with the run round the outside. Norm redresses very clever. Clever? No, that's not the word. Where's my thesaurus? Meh. Moving on. Final stint for Zambe. He comes in and comes out at the start of 46 with 9 to go. In traffic with Con. Now the rules for this event, the blue flag does wave, but the driver is allowed to continue at race pace at his own peril of penalties. As they come around into the technical section of Sector 2. How long can Zambe? No, never mind. Zambe makes a mistake and runs wide. That lets Con through. And Norm comes in for his final stop with a 7-lap stint to go. Reaper gets his pit entry wrong with 8 laps to go when he comes out. Norm's pit team working frantically to get him back out on the track to potentially close the gap on Con with 7 laps to go. A little bit sideways, losing the back end coming into turn 1. And here you have just over 6 to go. Gnarly in the lead. Con in second with Zambe a lap down behind him. And Norm on the freshest of tyres on the track, doing everything he can to close the gap on Con. Now, will Con make it to the end? That's the big question. We know Con has been doing 13-lap stints. That leaves him with 2 laps of spare change unless he can perform the miracle. As Reaper, the 6th car running, we had 10 plus start, about 12 I think. 6 cars dropping out to technical difficulties. Unable to finish as we come around for the start. 3 laps to go. Con's in the lead. Rick's made a mistake, and Rick and Zambe fighting for 4th position with 3 laps to go around AUTOPOLIS. Here we go. Everybody's on the edge of their seat again. We've got a battle on our hands. Rick and Zambe both look up the inside of Con. Con runs wide and lets the 2 battling cars through as they approach turn 3. Con up the inside of Zambe. Zambe gets that a little bit wrong. Contact. Zambe had the room and just got it all wrong, and he's off into the sand trap, and that's his race over. Will he come out of the sand in front of Reaper? We'll find out soon, as there's Norm in the background prowling. 2 laps to go. Norm on the tail of Con. This is where we're going to find out if he managed to save the extra lap or 2 of fuel. 2 to go. Con's running 13-lap stints. We expect him to come in now, and he does. Con comes in for a final 2-lap splash and dash. Norm takes the position, 2nd place. Con should have enough time to come out in front of Rick and secure 3rd spot. As we flick to Gnarly at the end of 54 laps, 250 kilometers plus of the AUTOPOLIS circuit in Japan. Congratulations to the new endurance champion, Gnarly Dude. Followed by Rick Green a lap down in 4th, Norm in 2nd. Zambe comes in 5th, a lap down. Con in 3rd to finish the podium. And Reaper Knight over the line in 6th, a lap down as well. So here is the fastest lap from Norm. We'll take you around the circuit on the bonnet of Lisa Norm on lap 49 for a 1:44.724. And then we will flick across to the results. And there you have it, the fastest lap around Autopolis. And the results, the new endurance champion, Gnarly Dude. Interesting to note, Con on 41, the highest point scorer so far in the endurance series. But as we know, the title goes to the winner of the weekly race. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.